So I asked AI to make me richer. They gave me a budget. Is Brandon still standing somehow? So today I want to talk a little bit about AI. I'll talk about three situations I think that's beneficial. Talk about some of the negative a little bit, and at the end, stick around, and I will tell you my personal what I think is probably the the biggest benefit of AI, at least for right now, and maybe even going forward, continuing. So, anyways, yeah. So, all right. I guess let's just talk a little bit about the negative part of AI. I don't want to get too deep into it because there's a lot of fear around it, and a lot of it's. I'd say a little bit of it is understandable, but probably most of it is overblown. I don't think that it's going to be as bad as some people think necessarily. It's certainly, in my opinion, it's not going to be artificial intelligence trying to take over the world. iRobot type stuff. I mean, those things are fun to joke around about, make movies about, and things like that, right? But look at Y2K, right? Everybody, if you're a Gen Xer like me, Y2K, everybody was so convinced that that was going to be the computers, the calendar, the Mayan calendar, whatever was going to hit the year 2000. It was going to cause the computers to go ape shit, and everything was going to go to hell in a handbasket, and it did not happen. Uh, but anyhow, so yeah, there would be, I think, probably the number one above all, the number one negative side would be job loss. There's just no way that you're going to be able to get past that. There's going to be job loss. My brother was telling me, I can't remember where he said he was, but he was telling me about pulling up. He's a truck driver, and he was somewhere. I think he said somewhere in California, and he went to a fast food type place or whatever. And he says you pull right in. You order. You never interact with a human at all. I'm not sure how they do it. Um, and so there's job loss there. They're Jeff Bezos is buying airspace to test out for testing out his drones and getting them up to par because he wants those for that's going to happen for sure in the next few years. There's absolutely no question about it. Drones will deliver uh, um, packages to people. Come right in, land on your porch, especially with like um, not Uber, but Uber Eats, and then DoorDash and stuff like that. Um, if you can just call on the phone, you're up in the Swiss Alps getting ready to uh, ski, and you want some In and Out burger, you know, and you can call and have a drone fly that to you in a matter of 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. And the other big part there is if it does get this one, I think they're going to fight. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it ever gets to the point to where trucking, and then of course, even if it does, I think it'll only be certain amounts. I think there's always going to be some humans that are out there driving the trucks. But if it ever did get to the point where you know trucks were able to deliver without people behind the wheel, oof, that ain't going to be good. I don't want to get into politics or anything, but they're going to have to come up with some kind of universal basic income to help people out because, yeah, what are people going to do? If you've been truck driving for 26 years or whatever, it's your livelihood and everything. You still got 10 years to go before retirement or whatever. You got to have something to fall back on. So, anyways, that's some of. Oh, and then one more quick thing: there's always going to be people that abuse it, right? There's going to be people that make fake videos and things like that, and fake pictures. Of course, we're already dealing with, right? We're already dealing with. You hear a lot all the time, that people question everything. So, you know, if you have a picture, and you say, look, there's my neighbor right there. I took a picture of him and he was going to a Ku Klux Klan rally or something. You know? They can always say that you just, you know, used AI to create a fake video or picture or whatever. So those are some of the negatives. So real quick, moving into what are a few of the positives. I think there's going to be a lot, but I think if you are, I'll give you a bonus. I'll save this one kind of as a bonus. But so I would say uh, one would be um, helping out with the predictive the predictive part of it, being able to predict things. You know, so with weather patterns and like fires and farming and things like that, where AI can help in that regard, could be huge, especially if it's helping avoid natural disasters and things like that, right? Um, the other thing is, you know, it never rests, right? Like there's no need for, right, human beings. We get tired, and we're not always able to monitor things. A computer doesn't need to rest. It can just be on constantly, observing, reporting, especially like with security measures and things like that, right? If you have cameras and stuff that are hooked up to your business or whatever, and they're constantly on, you're home sleeping, and an alarm goes off. Hey, there's something going on down at your business or whatever. That's a pretty beneficial situation for people, right? And then this one kind of taps into there is the human error. Um, can computers make mistakes? Yes, but I would say, especially today's computers, very, very, very rarely. And you'll come to find out a lot of times if the computer made the mistake, it's because the human running the computer didn't set it up correctly or put in something incorrectly or something like that. But usually, I mean, they're pretty reliable, 99.9.9. I mean, they just, you know, pretty reliable. And the bonus part that I was talking about was uh, that allows humans to have more time. They get more time to rest, recoup, do some of the more important things, and leave some of these menial tasks to uh, to AI, to the computers and stuff. You know, so it's fun to discuss, and you know, I have fun a lot of fun myself. I'll especially with photos, you know. I'll take pictures of like, you know, me and a brother or something. And, okay, like I took a brother of mine the other day. Me and him were huge, Rad, the rock group Rad, Round and Round from back in, uh, the 80s. And the lead singer, Stephen Pearcy, was our favorite. And we have a lot of fun memories about this. So I was able to take a picture of him when he was younger, and I used that, and I was able to create an AI creation of him standing there with his arm around Stephen Pearcy. They got a stage behind them. They're wearing rat t-shirts and they're doing the, you know, and it looks so real. You know, he thought it was pretty cool. It's fun. You can do a lot of fun stuff. You know, if you want to make yourself an old gritty looking cowboy or a wanted dead or alive poster. I mean, there's all this, it's endless. I've put me in pictures with Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, Judy Garland. It's the list just goes on and on and on. It can be real fun that way. You don't need filters and stuff anymore, right? You can get AI to do all that for you. So real quick, um, the bonus, well, not the bonus, but I told you that I was going to talk about what I personally considered, and I'm sure that the majority of you would agree that medical, the medical situation with AI, they're going to get to where your phone will be able to do all kinds of diagnoses and stuff like that. But let's take it a little bit further. I think they're going to have these little health bots that literally, you know, they you take your finger like you would at the hospital, and they check your oxygen, and if you need to, poke your blood and do it for your diabetes, they're going to monitor you and check you out. And also, I think obviously with the blood situation, I think it's going to get advanced enough to where they can read your blood and make predictive assessments, and they can say, okay, I think that you're at a level that requires going and seeing your doctor in person, because you could be looking at a heart attack or something if you don't get checked out, or whatever, go get your kidneys looked at because you could have some kidney stones coming, whatever the situation might be. I think it's going to help make a lot of real breakthroughs in the medical department. And also, it'll make it to where, you don't have to necessarily run to the doctor. And I think the health industry is going to bend just a little bit. And I do also think on certain things, like let's say you're sick and you need some antibiotics or whatever, the robot will be able to report this to your physician. They'll be able to send a prescription for some antibiotics to your pharmacy without you ever even have to go into the doctor. That would be cool. That would be cool for sure. So, anyways, yeah, AI. That's a pretty interesting topic. Uh, but the world's moving on, whether we wanted to or not. So, it is what it is. So, yeah, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, and subscribe would even be greater. And leave a comment, please. Tell me what your ideas are, or some of your pros and cons of, and how you feel about AI. So, see you on the flip side.